bado tuko safarini, moving swift, gurudumu ziko grease Santorini. Interactions, music keep short, keep bikini, ukishine wana freeze na baki wa ume ndimi. For the cloud siwezi bother jo, vil niko makini na prefer mnikanje do, na hapo hakuna bini. I'm a Congo, there's no capping bro, chasing dreams as I'm cruising through this capital. My heartstrings be dripping gold, tugging at these nouns and...
Hi guys, welcome to Spitz Creativz. I'm your host Jesse Wakaba. Today we're here at MEZANI TAVERN. I'm here with an artist, a hip-hop artist known as JAKKQILL. And yeah, JAKKQILL, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming through.
Thank you, pleasure.
For those who don't know who JAKKQILL is, can you just give like a brief introduction to who you are?
So I go by the name JAKKQILL. My name is Leon Jude Jakkquill. That's the name my parents gave me, but in this musical world, I go by the name JAKKQILL. And I'm a rapper, I'm a hip-hop artist, born and raised in Nairobi, Kenya. I started doing music a few years ago while I was in campus. It's been about maybe just a little over 5 or 6 years. And yeah, man, I'm here now. The journey has been dope, and yeah, I'm here now.
Man, I just want to say, first of all, thanks for coming. It's lovely to have you here.
Pleasure.
First of all, I just want to talk about your work and how I love how it's like a hip-hop sound. And for those who haven't heard it, like I can testify it's a hip-hop sound, and it's different. And you have bars, and like, where did this all come from? Where did it all start? When did JAKKQILL fall in love with music for the first time?
So music has always kind of been like in my life. It's always been something that, you know, I've always been in love with. Like even I remember the first genre of music that I was like fully into was rock music. That was like a very long phase. I still do love rock music. Then that was followed by a very serious house and techno phase, which I still like. I just like the trance they put you in.
I think there's a point where many people don't like techno.
Yeah, I think it was around 2009.
2009.
Yeah, your time, yeah, man.
My brother introduced me to it, man. We just jumped into the house.
Art Dance Festival.
That's like Tomorrowland,
yeah. But now I was listening to it like almost like 2 or 3 years before that. Like I remember listening to it, and I can't remember the names of the shows, but there were these shows on radio which used to play it. So I'm in school the next day. Now I'm in class, I'm just bumping my head, because in my head I'm listening to all the beats I was listening to yesterday night, and people thought like, yo, this nigga is losing it. But you know, that's what house music does to you. So I went through a house music phase. Then yeah, in campus I found hip hop. Hip hop was always kind of there. It's not like I wasn't listening to it. But I used to listen to like the really mainstream stuff, like the T.I.'s, who else? The Lil Wayne's, the Paul Walls. I think I listened to UGK a bit. Yeah, like the people who were popping. But I wouldn't say I was deep into hip hop. But like back in the day, I remember the first song I ever, you know, memorized word for word was Chameleonaires Riding Dirty. That was the first song I ever memorized. But yeah, hip hop was always kind of just in the peripheries for me. But the first 2 albums actually, let me put it like that. The 2 albums that I remember just like falling in love with completely and just feeling this hip hop shit to my bones is Drake's Take Care and J. Cole's Born Sinner. I'd say I'd really put it on those 2 albums for being the reason why I even do hip hop, because man, this was never in the plans. I won't say that I grew up wanting to be a rapper or something. I feel like music and just art kind of like found me when I needed it to find me, and you know, I've just been growing with it, and yeah, here I am, man.
Yeah, that's an amazing story.
Yeah.
I feel like most people say, because I feel like maybe the art found you and how you fell in love with the art. Because you said you were in campus before.
Yeah.
Are you still in campus, or you just doing music?
No. I cleared in 2016. I worked for a bit. I've done a lot of things since then, but I cleared in 2016.
But like I feel like in that sense you're finding your own path.
Facts.
You weren't yet sure of what you were as a young person and us as youth them.
Yeah, as the youth them. I feel the same, because I feel like music, I love the journey it's taken me on, because I feel like I've been on a journey of self-discovery with it. And at the risk of sounding braggadocious, I feel like the reason why I'm dope with it is because there was a long period where I wasn't even doing it to like pop or get famous or nothing. I was doing it because I was crazy about this shit. Like I still do. I love this shit. I love writing. I love live performance. I love the whole process. So I feel like I took time to nurture it. It's like a tree. You really have to nurture it.
Like you're focusing. Because
you're putting that time in.
You're not even focusing on the money.
No.
I feel like if you go into it
if you go into it with that mentality, then the growth will be very difficult, because you have the wrong intentions from jump. So yeah, you really have to love it at its very core. Yeah.
So guys should listen to that piece of advice. Like you should focus on the skill, don't focus on the money first. Like don't. I
guess I'm dropping gems.
Dropping some gems.
Just a little gem, man. If you're doing this, you really have to love it. That's the only way. That's the only way you can grow. Yeah.
I also want to talk about your album.
Yeah.
New Decade, Same Dreams.
Yeah.
NDSD.
NDSD.
I was listening to the song today. But when I was listening to that song, one thing I also noticed is like you're a lyricist in terms of how your bars are, and if people, because I love hip hop, I fell in love with hip hop. Also my journey towards hip hop was funny. Like I used to listen to house also. My brother used to listen to house.
Yeah.
We just grew into this stuff, and I remember how we first fell in love with music. My dad used to play music a lot, like in the car and all of this, and I just ended up falling in love with music, and just like, because music, I feel like without music, life wouldn't make sense.
Man, it's the soundtrack. It's the soundtrack to life, man.
Yeah, and this is the way of giving back.
Yeah.
In a sense, like appreciating your work, and people need to do that, and need to listen to your album and to appreciate your work. But how do you feel? Like, what type of mindset were you at when you're making this album, and how did you like fuck Corona? Fuck Corona.
Fuck Corona, man.
What mindset were you at making this album?
I was in the mindset of, I'm always trying to level up on myself, man. Like, I feel like that's like a key ingredient in my recipe for growth. I'm always trying to level up myself. So I was in the mindset of, I was thinking like, okay, I have 2 mixtapes out. I have Lately, which was my first mixtape. I have The Stash, which was my second mixtape. So I mean, it's only right that I dive into an album now. And actually, I think what most people don't know is The Stash was actually supposed to be part of NDSD, but when I got into that album mode, I decided that I want like an original project with original beats and all that. So all the Stash had YouTube beats and all that, so I just took those off. Then that's what became The Stash. Then I focused on NDSD, and it's called New Decade, Same Dreams, because that's the energy I'm coming into, the decade with. I mean, 2020 was a new decade, even though
the shirt as well, but
I made some merch pieces. Yeah,
we don't mind shouting out much. Also look at the shirt, New Decade, Same Dreams.
Yeah, shout out to everyone who copped it. So yeah, I was in the energy of, it's a new decade, same dreams, because I had these, all these days and nights that I've spent rapping since like 2014. And these dreams, they take time, and I've been doing that pretty much for the last half of the last decade. So it's a new decade, but I still got the same dreams. So yeah, that was the mindset I was in.
But like, also, how was it like working on an album? Now you're saying the previous project had YouTube beats, and on this album you really wanted to focus on making an album with your beats.
No, they want my beats. Yeah. They want my beats. There were beats from producers I was working with.
Yeah, I mean, like now with like proper producers working.
Yeah.
Okay, do you also produce as well?
Yeah, I produced my latest album, but at that time I was only mixing. I wasn't producing beats. Yeah.
Okay, so is it for
NDSD?
Well, yeah, for New Dreams, New
Decade, Same Dreams.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Was it also the same Was it you who produced that whole album? The whole
No. That was produced by, there was Five Star. Five Star had the chunk of production over there. There was a producer called El Mbuyu, OG Preach, and Jafar. Yeah.
So how was it also working with them and like now having proper producers on it? Because like it's really well produced actually.
Yeah, extremely well produced. It was dope, and it wasn't like it was even the first time I was working with them. Like the producers, Jafar was the only one who it was the first time working with him, but the others, I have records by them from way back in 2017. So yeah, it was dope. It was a dope experience.
Now with the album and like with the 3 projects, the other 2 projects that you're talking about, how do you feel like your music has been perceived to your fans, and how do you feel like that? Like how do you feel like your music has been? Because I was watching your live sessions and you mentioned you shouted out to your fans and you're like, thank you for listening to my album.
Yeah.
And you can also see with the views. Yeah. Your views have been growing. You're also very consistent with your output on YouTube. So I can say you're there with your fans per se.
Yeah, definitely.
You're not. Your music is not blocked out.
No.
Out there.
I'm in touch with my fans, man, and I appreciate them. Like even with the last album I had. Man, it's crazy. Everything that's happening is crazy. I had people hitting me up, like every time I get on Instagram, or even, the people who know me personally, like almost every day for like the last few months before I dropped my last album, I'd have, people ask me, when is it dropping? Yo, we're ready, we're eager. And it's crazy, man. Fans, it would be so, as an artist, you can be, you can be on your egotistic type of shit, all day if you want. But the truth is, fans validate your artistry. Like if I was making all this dope music and no one was listening, then it doesn't really mean anything, does it? So, yeah, I keep my fan base fed, and I'm just snatching a soul at a time. Once people listen to my music, I've honestly never had someone who listened to my music and said that it's trash or they didn't like it. Like everyone who digs my music digged it from jump, and it's dope, man. I appreciate all the love, like for real. I appreciate all the love. I've had moments where the fan love was like the only thing that kept me going. Like, life being life, we always have things we're dealing with, and you're down and out, and you feel like fuck this shit, and you're really out of it, and you just see like a comment from someone, or you see how people are bumping your music, and you say, hey, man, there's people who believe in me. I have to believe in myself.
And the fans who have grown with you, like from the first.
Oh yeah. I have people who used to listen to me. This started as I was in campus and I would just freestyle at like parties. It was just something I did for fun. And I had people who were listening to me then, and I still see them like bumping to my shit now, commenting, sharing. So yeah.
So what else do you want to? I also wanted to ask you, like, what do you have in store? Like, because like I feel like your music, if someone is going to listen to your music, you can rap on different type of beats.
Yeah.
So can you put yourself in a box? Are you the type of artist who puts yourself in one type of box, or because I feel like with what I was listening to you haven't, like on the basis of hip hop, you can rap on any type of beat that you're thrown at.
Facts.
And that's a big shout out, nigga. So yeah, like you can rap on any beat.
Yeah.
And that's proper. So that's a big shout out. But like,
appreciate.
How do you feel like? What do you also get to like? When did you start writing? And now like getting the art to like write on beats and like. When you don't start.
I think I was always writing since I began in campus. Like I would do like I would write verses, or like I had my very first rap book was actually a course book. Like, so on the front was like classwork and shit and notes, but at the back is some very, very heavy bars, man. So I've always been writing, man. I was writing on the way here on my phone. So I'm always writing. Like, it's something I enjoy. It's like I view it the same way a bodybuilder goes to the gym, right? You're building, you bulk up. It's a mental muscle. The less you write, you can't be dope without writing. You have to. Like I'm in this virtual academy called Yes Academy Kenya, right? It's a hip hop workshop, and we had a speaker yesterday. Her name is Tony Blackman. She's like this dope MC from the States, not famous, but she is dope. And she was giving us an analogy of the kung fu movies. You see, every kung fu movie, you go into the dojo, you find like there's some people drunk over there, they're rowdy. Then you know, some got the hoes over here, and some are gambling over there. Then you go to like the kitchen, and there's this one dude who's just, he's always washing his bowl. He never talks, he's just washing his bowl day in, day out. But one day the dojo gets like attacked, and that silent dude who's washing his bowl is the one who saves the whole dojo, because he's been like practicing his art. So I view it like anytime I'm writing or I'm just working on anything, I'm washing my bowl, I'm sharpening my skills, because practice, that's the basis of, you know, getting dope and perfection and all that. You have to put in the hours, man. Yeah.
Can you get, like, I feel like what you're trying to say is like there's no limit to, like, there's no time to rest. Like,
no,
you have
never.
You have that hunger that you want to be.
Okay, let me not say never. Yeah. Rest is good, but
rest is good, yeah, but like I feel like you're pushing out, like you want to become better and better. You just
always
sharpen that skill.
Always.
That's what I'm understanding.
Always.
Not even about the rest per se.
Yeah.
I don't mean like you don't rest.
Yeah.
But like I'm saying, like you're always perfecting your craft. You feel
always.
like you're not content with where you are.
I never want to be content, because once you get content, once you get complacent, once that hunger goes, man, it's like it's over for you.
How do you feel like now, like with the album, and you released it this year, 2021?
Yeah, this last October 15th. Yeah.
I also want to, like, are you independent or you like in a record label? Because like also like I feel like your YouTube is managed. It's managed perfectly. I like it's like not perfectly, but it's like it's properly managed. Like I like that I can reach a lot of genres of your music, and like where you started per se, and like this is where JAKKQILL was at first, and now this is where he is right now. But like, do you have like a manager? Are you independent? Are you in a record label? Or is this something that
you remind me of a line that's in my album on I think the 5th or 6th track, which is called Silhouette, and I was saying, got here with no record deal, can't explain how that should feel. I'll be like, this can't be real. No, this can't be real. No, I'm not. I don't have a deal, man. I'm not signed. I'm not like managed by anyone. I've been doing it independent. So yeah.
And you feel like that route is also like you like the way, because also with like how far you are right now also as an artist, that's amazing, like how you're doing it by yourself.
Yeah.
Because also a lot of artists get conned on their deals, man. And like a sense for a deal.
I wouldn't say a deal is like a bad thing, but you know, there's pros and cons to it. I feel like there's pros and cons to both. Like right now, I enjoy calling my own shots. Like I'll do what I feel like doing. What I don't feel like doing, I won't do it. And you know, I've seen the blueprint from, you know, people like Russ. Like there's people who've done it, who've shown us that it is possible. So I mean, there are setbacks to it, there are advantages to it, but so far personally, I'm enjoying my journey, man. That's all I can say about it. Yeah.
Easy, man. The last question.
Yeah.
Where do you get your musical influences? You talked about Drake. You mentioned Drake, and you also mentioned
J. Cole. Yeah.
How can I forget about Cole? Let's laugh myself. But Cole.
Yeah.
Cole and Drake, and like how the albums. Born Sinner. I've listened to Born Sinner. Born Sinner is an amazing album.
It is.
So that I feel like how you've told me that I can tell what I can expect from your art.
Yeah.
But say like where you're headed and what you want your music to be. So how is it also like, what are your influences? Would you listen to, who's on your playlist? What you listen to in Kenya? You know, so you can shout out to niggas, man.
Man, I listen to a lot of people, man. I listen to so many people. Like I can't even put it in a box. In terms of my influences, I would say, of course, Drake and J. Cole, and Kendrick, of course. The Trinity, like that's like the Trinity right now. But beyond that, who I listen to, man? I like Saba. Saba is dope. I like Joey Badass. I like Nasty C. Who am I listening to? Man, it's like it's so many people I can't even put them in a box.
And in Kenya, who are you listening to in Kenya? Who should we look out for?
Man, look out for the feature that just dropped today, man. I have a feature with Asam Garvey. It's called Interlude.
Yeah. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, he just dropped his album today, so shout out to him. I have a joint on that. I like Nene K's music. There's a dude called Nene K. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but he's dope. There's I like HR the Messenger. Don't know if you know him. Who else? I like Miss Karen's music. I think she has amazing vocals. Who else? Man, there's so many people I listen to, man. I can't even list them all down right now.
Like also your music is like how I was telling you, I don't feel like we found our sound yet. I'm happy where our sound is heading.
It's definitely heading in a good place. Yeah.
There's so many artists who I can shout out. I can shout out to Killy Hippie. I can shout out to Boy Black also as well, who's doing the transcending how the sound is going to sound also in Kenya, and also how your music is.
I think Boy Black is on a show that's we're doing next week. I think he's there.
I know him.
Yeah.
And he's an amazing lyricist.
I hadn't listened to him, but I peeped a few tracks, and yeah, he's dope. He's dope too.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
And also like how also with his producer also as well, like how they're also pushing out projects each week also as well. I love that, like how you're interacting with your fans also as well. How you've also picked out a new single. So yeah, that's it, man. Thanks, JAKKQILL, for coming.
Appreciate.
Man, it's been a blessing having you here.
I appreciate. Shout out to you guys. Spitz Creativz, yeah. I gotta appreciate you guys because you know the whole thing can't grow off of artists alone. You know, we need people also covering what we're doing, and so for y'all to even be here and be doing this is dope. Like it's a different aspect of the culture, and it's appreciated.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. Bless, man.
Yeah.
Thanks. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's JAKKQILL. Do you have anything to say to like your fans and like any new music that you're dropping?
Yeah. What up? JAKKQILL, Mr. Audio King, Mr. Adat Records. Latest album is out now, Lost in Motion. I hope you've peeped it. If you haven't, go listen to it. It's a vibe, start to end. Man, keep your head up, keep leveling up, believe in yourselves. You know, there'll always be shit going on, but you gotta keep your head up and keep moving. Yeah, peace.
All my niggas, man, hustlers. Man, ride to the cash, gotta buckle up. Capitalism in the capital city, turn the city in the sun to a black hole, swallows up your dreams, your fears, your thoughts, ideas, you run, trying to beat the one in front of the gun. Cause I heard that motherfucker live forever through this pen and some ink, give my soul propellers, that's lyrical alchemy.